Next on the grid is number 7, Graham Wilson, 62-year-old from not far from Chester. As the race gets underway then for 15 minutes, it's a good start by John Village's car with Sam Wright aboard. That's going to take some getting used to. Not such a good start from Greg Catton in the Dyson. He's lost a couple of positions. Ben Bolt, originally up to second. Trying to threaten him now on the inside is the number 6 car of Richard Verheyden. That's Gary Brandon in the number 74 car that spins on the way out of Oulton corner and is currently pointing backwards. And Tim Mile just jinks to the right of him as the cars make their way down towards Cascades for the first time.
There was a touch for Gary Brandon. I'm struggling to work out precisely with whom, I'm afraid, but some of these cars are open wheel. The Dyson closed wheel, so but there's always the scope, I suppose, to get a bit tangled up when the cars are so condensed heading into the first corner from a busy grid. So heading through the fast left-hander at Ireland for the first time, and Sam Wright getting away cleanly in the Village V2, the all-white car, with in behind now Ben Bolt, a good start in the Centaur, Mark 16, with the yellow nose on car number 13. Everybody else working their way safely through Shell Oils, including the Lotus 11 of David Rose in Class D. So he's ultimately trying to reel in Greg Catton in the Dyson. So up over Hilltop for the first time, and Richard Verheyden in his race kits Merlin running in 4th position after that great pass for Ben Bolt early on. He started 5th, he's already up to 2nd place.
Absolutely a great start to the race for Ben, who's 80 years of age. He lists Oulton as his favourite circuit though, from Bishop's Ishington. He's retired, been competing since 1961. He won his class at the Burkitt in 1964, racing with his mum and dad in that particular year. And it's a 1976 Centaur that he races, that he bought in 2022. Is he going to lose a place? Yes, he is going to lose a place, like Oulton Park or not. Greg Catton has got through in the Dyson back into 2nd position, but Sam Wright here has a very big lead over the rest of the field, over Catton in 2nd, Ben Bolt in 3rd. Is he going to be 3rd by the time they get to Lodge Corner? The race kit's Merlin, which is a sort of a more modern recreation of a historic 750 Formula car by Martin Kemp. Well, that does go through the number 6 car into 3rd place now, and he's also going to lose another place. Ben Bolt is going to lose 4th position as well, I think, as they come over the line. Actually, maybe not quite going to lose the place, but Graham Wilson is right behind him.
Nip and tuck, wasn't it? But Ben Bolt just about gets the judgment over Graham Wilson's time 3B. So those two exiting Old Hall pretty much as one. They're also starting to pair off a little ahead as well, as Catton's coming under pressure from Verheyden for 2nd position. They're now at Cascades. So heading through that bit of the race circuit, which has a real crown to the road. If you are close to the apex, then you're on the right line, because the camber is very much for you. Now there's an issue though for Peter Marsh's Austin Pigsty, the Super Snort, and that car that qualified in 10th position off the road just after Old Hall, the first corner.
Yeah, it's a great shame for Peter, who's 74 years old. Started racing back in 2008 in the Caterham Graduate Championship. Did that for 8 years. Did an autocross and sprints as well over the years. That's a 1936 car that it's based on. The body on that car was built in 1984. Meanwhile, that's the fight for 2nd place just going through. Catton and Verheyden behind Sam Wright, who led by 3.2 seconds very nearly at the end of the first lap of the race. And it's Ben Bolt in 4th. He's still not sort of given up on that position. It looked like Graham Wilson in the time 3B was going to make it through to 5th place, but he's dropped back a little, up to 4th place today, but he's dropped back a bit now. And there's quite a long gap back from Wilson in 5th to John Donnelly, who's in 6th position in the number 37 car, another race kit's Merlin for the driver from Lee. But the closest battle for 2nd, as we're watching again the number 11 car, that's James Miles in his Austin 7 Monoposto. Monoposto basically means single-seater, and he is currently 2nd place in Class B. Well, he'll have taken the lead of Class B now with the demise of Peter Marsh, in actual fact. So it's going to be up to the lead of Class B now for James Miles, number 11.
It's good to have a couple of additions to the grid, because when the grid was issued, it only had 15 cars on it, but now Tim Mile permitted to start. It's the Austin 7 Pigsty for him, and I reckon Trevor Slatter, the 72, is the addition as well.
Yeah, started on the pit lane, I think.
Ah, okay. So normally force majeure or a polite chat with the Race Stewart will allow that to happen. I'm not sure about the necessarily the complication, but he did actually feature in qualifying, but didn't put in a flying lap, Trevor Slatter, whereas Tim Mile, we didn't see him at all in qualifying earlier this morning.
No, I think it's a new car, certainly for Trevor Slatter. We've seen him out in the Centaur before, but this, if we get to see it, is an Isaacs historic 750 Formula car, but it's the first time I think that's been out. Meanwhile, we've got Gary Brandon, I think that is, trying to sort of forge his way back up the order after his off at the first corner. He used to race in low cost. He's made it back to 9th place now. He climbs up the order on that lap, having made up 5 positions on that lap, in fact, working his way through some of the less powerful cars.
So 2 together include James Miles, Austin 7 Monoposto, being caught possibly by the Lotus 11 in behind of David Rose. Class leading Charlie Plain Jones is the next car on the road, but heading towards Lakeside. Is that Paul Mason's Whippet?
Yes, I think it is.
Excellent. The Whippet H750F heading for Shell Oil's hairpin now. Another new, the fastest lap of the race set by Sam Wright. Perhaps unsurprisingly, that car going very strongly, having topped qualifying by 2.3 seconds, the in new hands Village V2.
The Trevor Slatter car that we mentioned starting from the pit lane, well, it's going back into the pit lane now, I can see from our commentary box windows. That's a shame that has not stayed out there a bit longer, but Tim Mile is out there, and Roderick Renfrew in the Austin 7 has gone through as well. And we're watching, as you say, the Paul Mason Whippet there. He's just in behind the 37 car, which is John Donnelly in the second of those race kits Merlins. As the battle though for 4th and 5th, and it looks like Graham Wilson at the time 3B, the 62-year-old leadership coach who's been racing for 5 years, sometimes races a Triumph TR6 as well. Looks like he's caught Ben Bolt again. Perhaps he's just faster in this second half of the lap.
Yeah, that's the nice thing about Oulton Park. It's split into not today, but often split into a couple of sectors, and it's a very different definition or different characteristic. And so too, coming out of Lodge Corner, a relatively slow speed right-hander, good drive, although Ben Bolt is keeping him honest on the run towards Old Hall Corner. Slightly more open right-hander to kickstart the next lap, but the place has changed, and Graham Wilson, having already got past Ben Bolt on one occasion. How long can he stay there? Or is the straight line speed of the Centaur, number 13, slightly better coming out of Cascades? Let's just have a look. I'd say it is actually. Ben Bolt again is able to close in on the number 7.
It looks more accelerative, doesn't it, than the 7 car of Graham Wilson, and they're both running 850cc Reliant engines. I think I was wondering if there were different engines possibly, but no, possibly they've just been set up in different ways, such that Ben Bolt's is more effective in a straight line and has got him back ahead of Graham Wilson there. But actually through the corners, through the sort of lower gears, maybe that's when Graham Wilson's car comes into his own. It looked like he was going to get back on terms again with Ben Bolt through Britain's, which they're approaching now. Left, right and left they will go. So it's still, by the way, Sam Wright leading by 5.8 seconds at the end of lap 3. Greg Catton leading Class D. Class B being led by James Miles, and Class A is being led by Charlie Plain Jones. That's the Class 4 standard Austin 7s, as opposed to the supercharged Austin 7s in Class B. But as you can see, again, Ben Bolt's just pulled out a bit of a gap, only by maybe 3 car lengths down into the chicane, but the Wilson car has much more speed through the corners, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and now will overlap Ben Bolt, who might be able to get it back ahead of the number 7 car on the run up Clay Hill. I'm not sure whether Ben Bolt's straight line speed is necessarily replicated on the inclines, though, of which there are 2 significant around the Oulton Park circuit. It seems strange to refer to Ben Bolt's car as having grunt from an 850 Reliant engine, but it certainly has got the straight line advantage over Graham Wilson's time at 3B, although this time Graham's exit out of the double right-hander at Druids is much more beneficial, and he may well have cleared the 13 car entirely now. There's, I suppose, a little bit of a draft, a toe that you can pick up from these low-slung cars, but that toe has been broken, and the 3B in a clear 4th place. Meanwhile, Sam Wright continuing to lead, but at 1.8 seconds. That's because the fastest lap is now in different hands, that of Greg Catton's Dyson Type 64.
Yeah, 2:16.342. Now in the qualifying session this morning, Sam Wright did a 2:14.2, so we're some way off the times that we saw this morning in qualifying. I don't think the conditions have necessarily changed that much since this morning, so maybe there's a bit more time to be found there. But look, you can see Catton looks like he is closing. The gap was down to 1.8 seconds at the start of the lap between Sam Wright and Greg Catton. I'm not sure how much racing Sam Wright has done before this. It's his first time out in historic 750 Formula, but maybe just a little bit more, bit of inexperience telling here. Meanwhile, a good battle going on between Mason and I think that was Gary Brandon there for 7th position, which you just saw going down towards Denton's. But here are the two leaders. It's Sam Wright, number 16, and Greg Catton, number 31, and they're pushing on as they make their way through Knickerbrook on lap 5.
Just 4 minutes still to go then. No extra laps added on. It's just a clean 15 minutes for these cars, and that will be repeated later on today in the penultimate event here at Oulton Park. So heading through the left-hand kink known as Water Tower and then into Druids, where a very pointy Greg Catton's car turning in with little notice, but it reacted well, and the Dyson Type 64 being put through its paces to make sure that Sam Wright doesn't disappear too far up the road. 3.5 minutes left to go then. Sam Wright still looking for signatures fairly early on in his racing career, as indicated with the black cross on the yellow background, I should say, which is the novice cross. So across the line, 1.8 seconds becomes 1 second with a 2:15.4. Now that is a little bit closer to the times we saw earlier on in the day. We're still about a second away from the pole time set by Sam Wright.
Yeah, that's how time's coming down, but not as fast as we thought that they might do. So we're coming towards the end of this first race of the day for the Raceparts Historic 750 Formula Series. As I say, we've been to Donington Park already during the course of this season here at Oulton Park for rounds 3 and 4. They'll go to Cadwell, Brands Hatch, Croft and Mallory Park to round out the season. So what's that, 3, 4, 5, 6 venues that they'll have during the course of the year. This is some lappery. Roderick Renfrew in the number 12 Austin 7 being lapped by Gary Brandon there, who's now up, I think, to 7th position, I beg your pardon, isn't he, as he comes across the line that time, and he's lapping about 4th fastest, I would say, of all the cars out there. Not as quickly as Wright, Catton and Verheyden, but faster than anybody else apart from that, I think, Johnny. Yeah,
true. That's 2:20.9 is certainly a lot quicker than those cars that he has got company with on the timing screen. How about this, though, for the race lead? This lap began with a gap of a second. It's surely down to about half a second now as they slow for Hislops and the right-hander at Knickerbrook. The run up the hill, and again, a slight mistake from Sam Wright. He surely took too much curb on the exit. That will compromise his run up Clay Hill. It's going to be a brave manoeuvre to try anything at Druids, but certainly by the end of the lap into Lodge, although having said that, maybe this is the place to do it for Greg Catton. No, not quite fully alongside was the Dyson Type 64. Better surely to shape Sam Wright up into the final corner, but we'll squeeze one more lap out of this.
Certainly will, so that'll make it a 7-lap race, but Catton now right close up to the back of Sam Wright's car. It's been a real cat and mouse race. This was a mistake from Sam Wright, has cost him the lead on the exit of Lodge Corner, possibly a bit of an inexperience telling there, and that has allowed Catton to go through to take the lead at the end of lap 6. He's a third of a second in front, but Wright trying to come back to him now, just having a look down the inside into Old Hall Corner, but he's just a bit too far back to make that move, I think, there, Johnny.
That was really tough, but actually well controlled. I mean, we talk about Deer Leap a lot and how the confines of the circuit close in on you on the left-hand side. The track doesn't get any narrower, but it feels like it does because the marshal post is right there. And now they're totally side by side down Lakeside. A great slingshot out of Cascades for Sam Wright, which will put him back into the race lead. Well, I don't think around the outside is the answer for Greg Catton, but he does have the speed clearly to get ahead, or at least hustle Sam Wright and force an error. There's also a bit of traffic just round the corner at Shell Oils, which might come into play by the end of this lap. There's often a bit of a puff of smoke from Greg Catton's car coming out of Shell Oils, but it's done that for a number of laps now, so I don't think it's a problem as such. Big lock up there for Sam Wright. Front left was stationary for a good couple of metres. That might have flat spotted the tyre, although the tyres are built to last a good few races. Cracking fight this. It might be just about the oldest category going in world club racing, but it's very, very competitive.
Always locked up as Sam Wright. Has it cost him anything though? Down at Hislop's there, at Hiz's, he's still in the lead. He's got Greg Catton maybe 4 or 5 car lengths behind him, but of course it was in the final corner of the lap, really, at Lodge Corner, that he made a mistake on the previous lap. I think the pressure just told from Greg Catton, but he's done well to get the lead back here, has Sam Wright. Up towards Druids for the final time. Catton trying to get on the inside line for Druids Corner. That's a bold place to try and make an overtake for the lead of the race on the final lap. And Wright has seen off that challenge. I think Catton just had to back out of that a bit. That's cost him a few car lengths. Might that mean that he can't challenge down into Lodge Corner for the final time? I think he's too far back now into Lodge for the final time then, unless Wright makes a mistake. He's going to win his first race in the historic 750 Formula Series. Climbing up, cresting dearly. Now checker flag is made ready, and what a win for Sam Wright in round 3 of the Raceparts historic 750 Formula Series. He takes the checkered flag by just under 1 second in the end from number 31 Greg Catton in second place. They both win their respective classes, and it's a podium, and he's very pleased with that. Number 6 Richard Verheyden in third place. Charlie Prayne Jones, I beg your pardon, goes across the line in 12th place there, a lap down, but he wins Class A with that result there. And it's going to be a long wait until we see anybody else. But there's our race winner. He's still pushing on, I think, is Sam Wright on this slowing down lap, having already taken the checkered flag. Which continues to wave now. I just wonder if they didn't see it, possibly. There is, it's Wilson on the final lap who gets ahead of Ben Bolt. So that was a change for 4th and 5th. And 6th, that also has changed around on the final lap because having spun on the opening corner of the race, Gary Brandon has managed to climb back to P6. He just about takes the checkered flag. So quite a dramatic race, that one, Johnny.
It was excellent, and there was a great deal happening, not least for the race lead between Sam Wright and Greg Catton, and Sam will know that he's got certainly a scrap on his hands for later on in the day. He's not going to have it all his own way for race 2, and Greg Catton will have learned a thing or two as well about how his Dyson performs up against the Village. Certainly the first sector or so is favoured towards the Sam Wright car, but Catton can close in towards the end of the lap, and often Sam was coming out of Knickerbrook Corner a little untidily at times, and that was giving Greg Catton the good opportunity to get through. I think if he'd been a bit more patient and not pushed for that overtake at Druids, that would have given him a much better opportunity into Lodge. But as you well described, he kind of showed his hand at the penultimate corner and then didn't have a great deal to fight with for the final time into Lodge. But Greg will take that away. He did get a fastest lap in that, 2:13.7, and it's poised nicely now for race 10.
Absolutely. So we see the historic 750 Formula Series cars out again later on. That is going to be around about 20 to 5 for the penultimate race of the day. Then the ultimate race is the ultimate BMW race. That's going to come up at the end of the programme, but plenty more racing before then, including next up more BMW action, because we've got the 116 Sprint Series on 120 Coupe Cup coming up for their second race of the weekend very shortly. But that Raceparts historic 750 Formula Series race, well, it was won by number 16 Sam Wright in the end. 0.987 seconds was his victory margin in that race over number 31 Greg Catton. You can see confirmation of that. So the Village V2 beating the Dyson Type 64, which kind of indicates there was 63 other types of Dyson before they arrived at that one. I'm not sure if there was or not. What do you reckon, Johnny?
I thought they were using the bit terminology. So you have 8, 16, 32, 64, 128. So by that logic, it's version 4, maybe.
Okay, yeah. Richard Verheyden was third, number 6. Fourth was number 7, Graham Wilson. Fifth was 13, Ben Bolt. 6th, 74, Gary Brandon. 7th was 14, Ben Mile. Paul Mason, number 67 was 8. John Donning, number 37 was 9. And David Rose, number 3, rounded out the top 10. James Miles won Class B in his Austin 2nd monoposto. He was 11th overall. And Charlie Plain Jones, number 22, was 12th. He won in Class A. So 4 class winners in the first 12 places, and sadly a few didn't make it to the checkered flag. Let's hope that some of those at least are back out for the second race later on this afternoon here at Oulton Park, where it's all still going on. There's still another hour and 3/4 of an opportunity to have a drift taxi ride there on the infield. So if you want to get involved with that, you can do so. And there's still activities going on in the Fogarty Moss Centre with sim racing, Scale X Trick, and lots of activities as well, and of course lots of lovely BMW to look at on the displays, lots of trade areas as well. So do have a good look around the show here at BMW Live today at Oulton Park. Just looking down into Parc Fermé, you can see Kieran's down there waiting for cars to arrive in and come to talk to him. We'll hear from hopefully our successful drivers at the end of that Raceparts Historic 750 Formula Series race, and then we'll move on, as I say, to the 116s and 120s once again. More racing to come here at Oulton Park throughout the rest of the season as well. There's information on that inside the programme, telling you about future events here as well. So do check that out. Still to come here, the Quick Fit British Touring Car Championship is here on the 21st and 22nd of June. And then the following weekend, the Supercar Pageant in association with Hampson Auctions is here on the 28th of June. The Oulton Park Gold Cup on the 25th, 6th and 7th of July. And then looking ahead, there's the US Auto Show and Tunafest North in August. The British Superbike Championship returns in October. Auto de France is here in October, and the Neil Howard Stage Rally and Fireworks are here on the 1st of November. So lots still to come here at Oulton Park throughout the course of this season. I can see that Kieran Mogg is there in the assembly area. We're not too far away from him being ready to talk to at least some of the drivers out there. I think possibly not helped by the fact that the top 2 have taken a little bit longer to arrive than was expected, but we'll hopefully get them across to talk to him before much longer. And then we can have a good chat with those drivers before the BMWs are out onto the circuit for their next race. So let's see if we can just see the Dyson is heading into position. Let's see if we can head down to Kieran now, because we've already got the cars now heading out onto the circuit for the next race. So we'll head down in a moment to Kieran Mogg.
Thank you very much. Yeah, sorry about the delay. We've just had a bit of a fiasco in Parc Fermé here because the overall winner, Sam Wright, just decided to just drive off and didn't see us waving and say, come over here, we need to talk to you. So while they get themselves de-helmeted and everything, have a quick chat with our class winner. So you mentioned just then it was a bit of a lonely race.
It was, I'm afraid, yeah. We're a bit short on Class A Austin 7s today, which is a pity, but it's a lovely track and a lovely day. So tried to keep up with the other classes, but, you know, age is against us, really. But, you know, these are the cars that named the club. So, yeah, we enjoy ourselves no matter what.
Yes, let's talk about the track and the cars. Obviously, it's a bit different to the other classes that we've got racing today. It's a very technical circuit, but talk to us about what the challenges that you face in a car like this.
Lack of suspension, lack of steering, lack of nerve, you know, general. But yeah, it's a good learning experience. Every minute on track is good, and it's a great place for people to start racing, and that's really really what I did. You know, I didn't start until I retired. So, but I wouldn't say that slows us up any. But it's just a steep learning curve. That's all.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations on the win, and hopefully we'll see you later as well.
Oh yeah, I hope so too.
Cheers. Thank you very much. I'll have a quick chat with Greg Catton here. Greg, can I just jump in a second? Let's have a quick chat. So that was close.
It was, yeah. Lovely dry conditions. I like the dry conditions. The car revels in that. Competition is still that white car. Yeah. We've got JV2 in the JV2 this time.
I'm going to say same car, different driver, but still the same competition.
Still the same, yeah. Good car.
Yeah. Yeah. And have you found, obviously, the battle with him? Obviously, it's his first win. It's his first time racing. Like, how have you found it with him?
Don't tell John, but he might be as good as he is.
Well, John was very full of praise as we walked over to Parc Fermé. So
very good. If that's his first race, yeah, he's got more to come, I'm sure.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
Cheers. Thank you very much. We'll jump in with Sam very quickly. Sam, I believe it's your first win. Congratulations.
Thanks. First race.
Yeah, it's quite a big one for first race. Obviously, had quite a good fight there with Greg. So, difficult to keep him behind?
Yeah. I thought at first I built up a bit of a gap to him, and he seemed to appear from somewhere. I don't know whether he got faster or I got a bit slower. Yeah.
No, well, either way, obviously, you've still got a race later on today. So, do you reckon you can do it again?
Just keep pointing in the right direction, I think is the plan.
Good. Well, congratulations on the win. Hopefully, we'll see you later.
All right, sorry, thanks.
Cheers. Thank you very much.